So the benefits to farmers can be wide-ranging. Increased yields, better tolerance to weather conditions, drought. In our region, in the northeastern part of the United States, we're seeing more rainfall. As the climate changes, as we see more weather pattern changes, the crops have to adapt to different conditions than they were necessarily designed for. And changing the crop rapidly to deal with these new climate conditions is probably not feasible. We need to be able to move things faster, get new varieties to farmers so that they can maintain their yields that they have, improve the yields they have, deal with diseases and insects that are popping up. We have invasive insects that come from around the world. We have insects moving into different regions in the United States because the climate's a little bit warmer. So now some of the southern insects are moving north a little bit farther, and growers are dealing with insects they didn't have to deal with before. So better disease resistance, better insect resistance, better yields, and better environmental stewardship. Less inputs, less fertilizer, less pesticide use, more efficiency, fewer times through the field for the farmer. So they're reducing their CO2 footprint, so they're not using the machines as often. They're not having to go through cultivating all the time. All of these things build up and benefit the farmer and their bottom line. You know, how can they be more competitive in the world stage? How can they produce more food for more people? There's more and more people in the cities, fewer and fewer farmers, so each farmer has to produce more food in order to keep up. And we're seeing that all over the world. It's just not in the United States. On the other side, consumers want products that have fewer pesticides, that are better for the environment, that taste better, that last longer on the shelf. These are all things that we can improve as well. And so things that are good for the farmer are also good for the consumer. And sometimes that message doesn't get out. It's hard for a consumer to conceptualize less CO2 or fewer pesticides. It's a hard message to explain to a consumer. But they are real benefits to the consumer to have products that last longer, that have fewer pesticides on them, that have better shelf life. I work in the berry world. I breed berries, and raspberries are the most perishable item in the supermarket. So we see a lot of food waste. They rot before they get to the consumer, or the consumer buys them and they start to get soft in the refrigerator. And the consumer's not happy when they've spent $10, $12, $15 a pound for berries, and then they start going bad before they can eat them. So a berry that can last in your refrigerator for a couple of weeks, it's not necessarily that you want to have it in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks. Most people want to eat the berries quickly, but having some flexibility on how long those berries last and what you can do with them is a big deal when you're spending a lot of money for fruit. And we want people to eat fruit. It's good for them. It's nutritious. It tastes good. The kids like it. But they're not going to buy it if they think it's going to go bad. Right. And so these are some of the things that the consumer can see, but it's also good for the grower because then they sell more product. It's both sides of the coin here. We need the consumer to eat the product, and the farmer needs to be able to make a profit doing it.